Hello and welcome back to this episode of your Kingsport Blog Video Update. I'm Jeff Fleming. We're coming to you today from Trinity Memorial Centers, located just off John B. Dennis Highway here in Kingsport. And our longtime videographer and producer, Wes Leonard, is one of the investment partners that produces this show for the Elixir Group and does a great job for us at the city government, and also just appreciate his investment and entrepreneurship here in Kingsport. I thought today what I'd do is share with you some of the information that we recently shared with the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. We're going through a strategic planning session for the next several regular work sessions of the BMA. The next one is coming up November the 15th, I believe it is. It's the second meeting in November. Then we'll have the first and second meeting in December that we spend some more time going into details about various departments and various services. But most recently we started out with just a scanning the environment, and I provided some statistical information that for them to consider, and John Campbell also provided an update on the city's financial outlook. So in summary, what we provided was that in the population, we looked at the market area, and we described the market area as 20 minutes from downtown Kingsport. So if you can envision a geography that goes from Churchill to Gate City to the Eastern Star Gray area out to about Central High School, we looked at that area, and then we compared the current city limits of Kingsport and to see how we were performing as a city and then relative to our market area. The market grew about 11.5% from 1990 to 2017, and the city grew about 5.6%. With annexation, the city grew about 15.5%. So there was some shift between, by annexation caused the city to grow in that situation. 30,085 commuters flow into Kingsport each day for work, and 12,597 Kingsport residents leave to go work elsewhere. So one of the things that we would like to consider is trying to make Kingsport a great place to not just work, but also to live. As gas prices continue to go up and traffic continues to grow within the Tri-Cities region, we feel like it's a great strategy to have folks who actually work here also live here. Kingsport may surprise you to find out that we grew faster than Roanoke, Chattanooga, and Charleston, South Carolina in that same time period, but we grew a little slower than Asheville and Hendersonville, North Carolina, and also Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina. So what we were posing to the board was, what is the right size city? At what point will we have reached the right size, and at what point should we stop trying to grow too fast, but also certainly not shrink like many of the Rust Belt cities of the Midwest and Northeast? Educational attainment, one of our big strategies from the 1999 Economic Summit was to create the Downtown Kingsport Higher Education Center. And so we're tracking what's happening with educational attainment, because statistics show that the more educational attainment a person or a family has, the more income they're going to have throughout the course of a lifetime. So the city has higher percentages of bachelor's and graduate degrees than the market area. Associate's degrees increased 3% in the market and 2.7% in the city. Bachelor's degrees increased 4% in the market and 3.2% in the city. And graduate degrees increased 2.7% in the market and 2.6% in the city. Now, you may have heard Governor Haslam talking about trying to get every Tennessean, 50% of all Tennesseans to have a degree by the year 2025, I believe it is. We are a long ways from reaching that, but we do have higher educational attainments than the state as a whole and many of our surrounding cities. Retail sales, if you are able to make money through your educational attainment, then how you spend it is of course of interest to us as well, because 25% of our city budget is dependent upon retail sales. So since 1999, retail sales per capita increased faster than any other market in the Tri-Cities. Let me say that again. In Kingsport, since 1999, retail sales per capita has increased faster than any other market in the Tri-Cities. Since 1999, Kingsport's market share of Tri-Cities retail sales has increased from 31.4% to 35.3%. So one of the things that we said in 1999 was that we wanted to make sure that Kingsport upheld its end of the Tri-Cities when it came to fair share of retail sales. So if the Tri-Cities were divided in thirds, Kingsport has slightly more than 1/3 of the total retail sales. So we have made progress in that situation as well. Income, the market median income is 11.2% higher than the city. The market median income grew 99%, so in other words, it almost doubled from 1990 to 2012. The city median income grew 103%, so it more than doubled during that time period. So that is a very good sign that income has grown from 1990 until 2012. In the employment sector, in 1999, manufacturing was the largest employment sector with 34.2% of the workforce. So we had 34.2% of all workers in Kingsport were involved in manufacturing. In 1999, the top two employment sectors represented 55.8% of the workforce. In other words, we had all of our eggs in one basket. In 2013, our employment is more evenly distributed with 5 out of 10 sectors in double digits. So when you look at a pie chart, it's a much more equally distributed, you distribute the load over several sectors. So we're not dependent on just one sector. We have lost 14,500 manufacturing jobs in the Kingsport MSA since 1990, but we've added more than 13,800 net new jobs. So in other words, we lost 14,000, but we gained that 14,500 back plus 13,800 in other sectors. So we have replaced those jobs with other jobs. Regional unemployment is consistently among the lowest in Tennessee, especially during downturns. What you'll consistently see is that in this region, somewhere in the 7% range is where we always seem to hover when it comes to unemployment. In the fast-growing Middle Tennessee area, you may see 5%, but it may fluctuate up to 8%. So depending on the fluctuations in the economy, you'll see a lot of change in that area. But here it stays pretty consistent all the time. Of the top 10 market segments that are moving to Kingsport from greater than 35 miles away, 39.1% of them are either retirees or pre-retirees. 12.8% are families, 5.3% are single parents, and 4.8% are young singles. So if you're moving from greater than 35 miles away, chances are you already have a job, that's why you're moving, or you're retired and you don't need a job, but you bring your income with you. Of the 10 top market segments moving from less than 35 miles away, 51.3% are retirees or pre-retirees, 5.6% are single parents, 5.3% are young singles, and 4.8% are families. So one of the initiatives that we've begun is to try to recruit talented people. Talented people come in all ages, but we're focusing a lot on the young professionals as well as the retiree segments. So let's go back. What we're challenging the board to look at is to focus on the big picture. Progress should be measured in quarter centuries, not quarters. Good to great. Kingsport's already doing some really good things, but what would make our city great? Not too hot, not too cold, just right. What is the right size of a city? At what point is our city ideal? And what can we reasonably do to influence that growth or not? Great neighborhoods and smart growth. How do you define smart growth? What about sustainability? What about redevelopment? Are those important to us? And how do we become the preferred city of the region? These are the topics that we're going to continue to discuss through the strategic planning effort. And if you have any input, we'd love to hear from you. You can always write to me at jefffleming@kingsporttn.gov. That's jefffleming@kingsporttn.gov. And until next time, that's your Kingsport Blog video update.